Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here, letting me speak. Thank you for that great opening. And Joanna, I see you here. And Joanna, I had a question. I just thought of it. Is there going to be an O'Reilly's in Beverly Hills?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. I was excited about that. I hope everybody got this handout. And if you didn't, maybe somebody could make some more copies if I didn't bring enough. I brought 50, but I may have run out. But what I want to do is I'm going to try to quickly review and not hold you up this morning, but I'll take questions as we go and at the end. So, Citrus County Housing Services is a division under the Board of County Commissioners. We're in the Department of Community Services. Amy Engelken is my director who oversees community services. So, if housing services isn't the service that you're looking for as far as human services, social services, you can call me anyway. I'm going to get you connected one way or another. We have a lot of senior care services, veteran services, library services, animal services, transit is under us, the buses and all that. So please feel free to reach out to me anytime you want. My direct number is not on there. I do have cards with me. I didn't bring enough for everyone. If you want a card, I can give you one. But my direct line is 527-7528. And I will get back to you at some point. I'm not able to take calls all the time, but I try. So on here, you can see I have a lot of different programs with a little bit of information about each one. I'm going to start with the one over on the right, Rental Assistance, Section 8. Not that it really impacts you very much, but I want you to be aware of it. That's the one that I get the most calls, and my staff gets the most calls every day. Those are HUD-funded rental vouchers. Right now, that program is closed. I get people asking all the time, my family member needs help with rent. Rent is the hardest thing to get assistance with. We can get you food, we can help with your electric bill, even some utility, water and things like that. There are some programs out there. Rent is the most difficult thing. So people can cover their rent and then try to go looking for food and, getting an access card, food stamps and things like that. That's what I always advise people. Pay your rent, pay your mortgage first. We'll worry about the rest later. There's ways to get resources. We have 233 vouchers here in Citrus County. We actually have on top of that 45 port-ins from other areas of the United States that actually want to live in Citrus County, and we administer those vouchers, and housing authorities elsewhere pay us for that, and we get a small amount of administrative funds for that. We have 2 full-time occupancy specialists on that, and I have my accountant who works that program as well. And it's a pretty big beast. There's a lot to it. I will probably be opening that up within the next 12 months. If you see that advertised, I'm only going to open it up for 10 days. It'll be an online application. Last time I opened it up in 2010, I opened it up for 11 days. I had 2 weekends in there. That was my goal. Online only. We got 622 applications. At that time, I was serving an average of about 25 new families a month. Somebody has to go off the program to open up a voucher. So that waiting list was about a 26-year waiting list. Well, it's been purged every year. People fall off the list for whatever reason. They don't need the voucher. They're not eligible. They pass. A lot of different things. So if you see that open up and you know somebody who might be eligible for that, please have them get on and get that application done. They may not get served for 3 or 4 years, but eventually it could really help them out and change their lives. The majority of the people in Citrus County who have a voucher are elderly or disabled. So I want you all to realize that. For the people that I can't help with that right now, on the back of this, I have all the affordable housing complexes, and this is what we give out to people who need this assistance. There are a couple complexes on there that have their project-based Section 8 funding, and they have waiting lists. So if you know someone in need, this is the list I want them to work it. We don't do it for them. We don't run any of these places, and nor do I want to, but that's what I refer them to. So that's a valuable list you have there. Below that is Shelter Plus Care. On the front of our page there, we have 13 vouchers where we help very hard to serve homeless folks who typically have some sort of mental disability. They have to have a diagnosis, and we partner with the centers to give them supportive services, and we pay their rent for them. We've been pretty successful with that. It's the most difficult grant I've ever had and ever will have, I hope. And that's only about $97,000 per year to help those 13 families. Next to that, we have Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP. This can help a lot of people, where we can pay their deposit to get their electric turned on. Have you guys heard what the electric companies are asking for nowadays? Close to 3 months worth sometimes. And they're basing it on what the last tenant did in that house. It drives me ballistic. Why? But that's how it is. So if somebody's credit isn't good and they're gonna ask for a deposit, we may be able to help with that. That's called crisis assistance. There is a phone number there, the 855 number. It's in the third to the last bullet, 855-806-9648. That's an IVR system, interactive voice response. They can get a human to speak with if they need to between the hours of 10 and 12 noon or 2 and 4. A lot of our elderly do it that way to set up an appointment. The bad news, there isn't enough funding to go around with that. We just got another $67,000. That brought us up to $509,000 for the year. The majority of those funds do go direct service, right out to our power companies to help with bills. However, I'm getting about 5,000 calls a month and serving about 110 people a month. So there's no guarantees here. But if you want to reach out to me because you have a special case and want to see if I can bump somebody to the top of the list and help them, feel free to do that. I can prioritize households that have somebody over 55, elderly, people with disabilities, or families who have somebody under 5 years old in the household, or if somebody has medical equipment that's relying upon electricity. So I can help with that directly. So you can skirt the system if you need to, and I'll see what I can do. We also pay regular electric bills through that fund and past due. Okay? And we served well over 1,000 families last year. Let's see. Let's go to hardest hit. There's 2 programs. The hardest hit fund, mortgage assistance, that is still open, surprisingly. I came here probably 3 years ago and talked about when this was opening up. This program was to help people who might be in arrears or struggling to pay their mortgage. They could be current, but they are unemployed or underemployed through no fault of their own. Okay, we've actually had some realtors that have been eligible and gotten this program. And you could get up to $42,000 in assistance. Okay, now that one you can have some past dues. To the right of that, this program is even more important, I think, principal reduction program. It's still open. The state somehow is not getting these funds out there. We've only had about 40 applications here in Citrus County for this. You all know somebody who's eligible for this. If somebody is underwater on their mortgage, loan-to-value ratio of 125% or greater, they may be eligible for this, but they have to be current. There's a formula. They can't have more than 2 30-day lates in the past 24 months, something like that. But I encourage you to let everybody you know that has a mortgage know about this program. You may not necessarily know that they're underwater. People are embarrassed by it. They're humiliated. They feel like I made a stupid deal back in 2007, whatever the case may be. Please let people know about this program, even if you're not sure that they may be eligible. The one thing I want you to look at on both of these is I have a code bolded, 14071. Both of these can be applied for online. That's how you start the process. You find these websites, and there's going to be a spot in there to put in a code, 14071. If you put in that code, you will get served by Citrus County Housing Services. If you don't, you may or may not get assigned to us. You could be assigned to a provider in Miami and end up doing that whole faxing and sending stuff overnight and all that. I highly recommend you use Citrus County Housing Services. We're very discreet. Pat Wilkerson is our caseworker for this. She does a great job. She's our advisor. Nobody knows why you're going into her office. Some people said, well, I don't want people to see me going in there. They're going to think I'm, getting a handout or something. That's not the case. Pat handles all the SHIP funds and a variety of different things. She knows what she's doing. She gets it done. I had one lady, she's a senior, my friend. She's 78 years old. Beverly Hills house, owed $86,000. She got a check written for $17,000 directly to her mortgage. Brought that down to what it was valued at. For the value is going to be established by core logic. If you don't agree with that value, you can go and pay for your own appraisal and see if it brings you into eligibility. Okay? So that program is really important, and I want you to remember that, the principal reduction. Down below, SHIP. We've changed up SHIP in the past few years for a variety of reasons. The big thing with SHIP in this group typically was that first-time homebuyers assistance. At one point, we were given $25,000, and I lowered that pretty quickly once I came on board about 5 years ago to $10,000. I found that $25,000 was too much. They didn't need that big of a house typically and really couldn't support that. And I do have foreclosures coming in from those times. We have made a few settlements, but typically we're not going to do that. If they're going into foreclosure, we get what we get back. But so with first-time homebuyers, because we weren't getting SHIP funding and the state, in its wisdom, was giving it out to other entities, which was fine, we stopped that because there was other ways to get first-time homebuyer money where the banks could go find these funds for them. So right now I'm not doing direct first-time homebuyer assistance. However, with SHIP, we do have applications out for not-for-profits. So Habitat for Humanity, Nature Coast Affordable Housing, those are a couple of them, and their buyers can get the $10,000 direct, right off their mortgage. So that's still out there and available, it's just in a different way that we're doing it. If we get fully funded next year, I certainly will consider bringing that back, and you'll be the first to know, I'm sure. We also can do home repair for very low-income families. I have a list of about 60 people that are looking for that. I want to give you some income levels for that one. For SHIP, for emergency repair. SHIP, regular rehab, SHIP. There it is. That's low income, 80% of AMI. For a single family household, they can earn up to $26,050 per year, or if it's a family of 4, up to $37,200. You know, and it changes based on the familial makeup. So that's for emergency repair. Typically what we're doing with that is drain fields, septic, things like that. A lot of elderly need this assistance to keep them in their homes. We do roofs and air conditioning. Those are the 3 big ones that I see a lot. We can also do a full rehab up to $25,000 if somebody needs that. The income level for that is lower. If they need more than $9,500, which is my emergency threshold, they need a full rehab. That's 50% of AMI income. So a family of 1 would be $16,300, and if we jump up to a family of 4, $23,250 annual income maximum for rehab. The emergency repair list, people are getting, I'm serving people now that got on our list in May. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. There are other resources for folks, and I can share that with you if you have a particular circumstance. Feel free to give me a call directly. I'll let you know about other resources with rural development and the weatherization program that is handled by Mid-Florida Community Services. Also under SHIP, you'll see mandatory water and sewer connection assistance. In Crystal River, they did areas 112, 113, 114. People had to connect to sewer and water. We were able to help the low-income families with that. We're still serving people in area 114. That's sort of an open application. As that comes up and the mandates come out, we're able to help people. Utility connection is that low income, that 80%, same as what emergency repair was. So if you know anyone eligible for that, they can give us a call, fill out an application, and typically we're paying about $7,000 to $9,000 total. We pay for the plumber and the assessment fees and things like that. And special housing needs. We have a prioritization that's been put on by the state, which is good. For owner-occupied homes, we have to try to help them first, that if someone in the household has a developmental disability. So we're partnering with the Key Training, which in our community they're very big and large. They're actually known throughout the country. And I work closely with Melissa Walker to make sure we're serving those families first. So just so that you know, that is a prioritization for all SHIP funds. Okay? Now, we'll go back to Neighborhood Stabilization Program, and I hope everybody's heard of it. If there's someone here that hasn't, shame on you. But the NSP program, we've had that since 2009, and I came on board with housing in 2010. We initially received about $2 million in NSP1 funds to buy bank-owned foreclosures, rehab them, and either resell them, or 25% set aside had to go to affordable rentals. We did that really quickly. Our initial goal was to do 9 or 10 properties. We did that quick, and there were other areas in the state that hadn't done so well. So we could allocate another $823,000. So we were at about $3 million with NSP1. Then we got direct from HUD, because we were performing well and everything was going great. Even though we're not an entitlement community, we got another $1,005,084. So now we're at close to $4 million. And with those funds, we wanted a targeted area. That's what HUD required, and it made sense. So Beverly Hills was our area of greatest need. And we have a map for that, and there was a whole tool that HUD gave us to use to figure that out. So, $4 million when we're selling the houses actually works into some program income. So we had $997,895 in program income. So now we're at close to $5 million in NSP funds right here in Little Citrus County that is mostly targeting the Beverly Hills area. So with that said, our target goals were about 20 properties. We have bought property number 51 recently, and we only have one for sale right now. We have two that are getting ready for rehab that will be on the market. They're both in Beverly Hills. And we're going to continue to target Beverly Hills. It is starting to make a difference. We can see that our prices have gone up there. The percent of increase in value from when I buy it to when we sell it has been 49%. So if I'm buying them at like 25, they're getting listed for 50, 55. All right, we actually had one on Rose sell for 70. Yay! So I think that's quite a feat. Our partner on this and our realtor of record has been Cheryl Lambert. And I really appreciate the work she's done. She has organized our first-time homebuyer classes for that program. It is a benefit to the buyers. This program isn't just for low income like most of the programs that I've talked about. This is for moderate, up to 120% of AMI. So this is a lot of people in Citrus County. This is a lot of your buyers may be eligible for these houses. 120% means a single-person household could earn up to $39,120 annually. And if we jump up to the four-person household, $55,800 annually. It's a lot of people that I know. So, why would anybody want to buy one of these houses? Because we put a lot of rehab in them. This isn't something I would have done with my personal money. I wouldn't go with the double pane windows and all these energy-saving things, a lot of energy saving. We replaced the roof 90% of the time. I think it was only 2 properties I haven't done that. We're replacing the hot water heaters, all new appliances. We're now including washers and dryers with that. We only do dishwasher if there was one there. We're not adding them in. All Energy Star rated appliances. And we are putting R30 insulation up in the attic and so on and so forth. We're trying our best to do hard surfaces on the flooring, painting them inside and out, and getting these things up to code. Oftentimes we have to replace the electrical panel in Beverly Hills. You all know they have those old panels, and some of them actually, it's been difficult to sell the house because we didn't replace the panel. We've learned our lesson on that. So why would anyone want to buy the best house on the street? That's not usually the smartest way to go. But some people, it can help them down the road. It also is bringing up the values, of course, of everybody around them. So if somebody wanted to buy a house that's listed for $55,000 in Beverly Hills, but they can only get a mortgage for $45,000, we could essentially help with that gap, the gap funding. So we'll put a soft second on the house forever. Or for 20 years, for 20 years on this one. So they don't have to pay us back or make any payments or anything, and there's no interest building up on that $10,000 we may have provided in a soft second, unless they sell the property in that 20-year period. After 20 years, it's theirs free and clear. They may still have 10 years left on their first mortgage, but ours is forgiven. If they do sell, that's fine. We need to be paid back the full $10,000. We do not prorate it down. That would sort of work against what the program is about. Our assumption and our hope is that the value of that house in 5 years, they're going to have equity even beyond our soft second. So why shouldn't we get the money back and do it again? So that's how it's going to work. So for years, this is going to keep going on. It's trickled down. We spent millions of dollars, which has been a blast. I've really enjoyed it. But now it's trickling down, and we have a few less. But if you're interested in that and learning more about it, Cheryl or I can help you. We really appreciate it. And like I said, there's only one left right now. We've got several pending. busy with our closing. And Vesta Title, I don't see Deb here, but Vesta Title's been our title company, and she's done a great job as well. She actually was, 10 o'clock at night, bringing their closing to their work at Walmart, getting it signed, and, I was home in bed the next day, I'm like, what do you mean we closed yesterday? We got it, Heidi. Thank you. So I appreciate the partnerships and all the good things that have happened with NSP. So we're going to keep moving forward with that program. Something that's not on here I want to let you know about is community development block grants. We are always looking at that and trying to get those funds here in Citrus County. We can use them for home rehabilitation, economic development, or neighborhood revitalization. Neighborhood revitalization is really difficult when it's countywide, so the cities usually go for those, and they've done a great job with them, so we won't usually be applying for that. But housing rehab, definitely, I'll be going for that again in February. I think the cycle will open. The cap used to be $750,000. I think it's going up to at least $1 million. So we may be advertising for that to get homeowners at an orientation where potentially they could get their house rehabbed, which helps the neighborhood, which is of concern to all of you. And you know people that can't handle rehab, they don't save, and they're on that fixed income, that Social Security $721 a month thing. How are they gonna get a roof? It's really difficult. So if you see that I'm advertising for CDBG, you wanna let people know about that, if I get that grant. Also, something recent that we've done, homeless is definitely on the forefront after this great recession. And we've done several different things in housing. It was something that really wasn't looked at too much by housing, but we partnered with our shelters. We helped the Mission and Citrus get going and get some things corrected that they needed to do. And we are a member of the Mid-Florida Homeless Coalition, and I understand you guys all did a big donation, and I think Cheryl's going to talk about that later. And that's great, that partnering with the not-for-profits and all that. I applied for and we received the Emergency Solutions Grant here in Citrus County. We'd gotten that the first time 3 years ago. We were the first county government entity to apply for and receive those funds. And they come through Department of Children and Families. And the first round, I think I got 13,000, and then I got like 28,000. But it was something new. And what it was for was homeless, for rapid rehousing. Somebody who's homeless that we need to get them into a place. They just can't get the funds together just to get in. So we could help with the security deposit, utility deposits, things like that. First month's rent, last, whatever they need to get in, as long as they're going to be able to sustain it. Okay? Or we could do prevention, homeless prevention. Somebody's gone on a tough time and they just need some help so that they're not going to end up homeless and get evicted or whatnot. We can help with that as well. So we applied for the funds again. We had some not-for-profits that went for these funds and they got them. But it was difficult for them to write the checks. The volume of money that needed to go out their door every month to keep this going and get the funds spent. It was difficult for them because it was all their funds in the bank, virtually, I guess. And the state doesn't repay. It takes them like 60 days. Well, the county can handle that. So we applied on behalf. And what we're going to do is pilot a program where we'll sub the funds out to these nonprofits to do the casework. I don't think the county government needs to be doing that one-on-one case management, but we are experts at grant administration and handling compliance. And that's something I'm very proud of my team, actually, my housing team. We are a small but mighty team of 10, including myself. And for all the monitorings and compliance visits that we have had from all these outside entities that we get grants from, we get audited every year by the clerk's office, outside auditors, on at least 3 of my major programs. And I've been audited by the internal auditor for NSP, and we have had no findings or concerns in 5 years. That's pretty impressive. And it's my team. They're great. So if you ever get to meet any of them, pat on the back for them and tell them I said that. So the homeless funds will be coming out soon. We're looking at partnering with Daystar and Salvation Army to start off, and there may be some other not-for-profits that come to the table. Other partnerships that we have, there's a new not-for-profit started up, Home, and we're certainly looking forward to working with that. And also Community Housing Partners, formerly known as FLEHA, Florida Low Income Housing. We partner with them on different things as well. So I think I've told you about all my programs. Let's go for questions. Yes?
Heidi, did you say that the NSP
asking me if they first-time homebuyers?
Is
Oh.
NSP, is it just for first-time home buyers?
Oh, okay. It is NSP for first-time homebuyers. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing. I've got
Okay,
a.
I wasn't sure if you changed.
For NSP, yes, first-time homebuyers, but the definition is different than you may be used to.
It's 3 years.
It's just someone who doesn't own a home right now. With SHIP, it's always been that 3-year window. With this one, it's someone who doesn't own now. All right, any other questions for me? Well, thank you all very much.